The Kringle family lived high atop the luxurious Bing Cherry Hotel in New York City, and they loved Christmas. They kept a Christmas tree up all year round. Mr. Kringle was the president of a re-owned Jingle Bell Company. Mrs. Kringle owned the fabulous Mistletoe nail salon over on 56th and 5th. They had even named their young son after you know who. Sophie and her little brother had everything. But if you asked, was it enough? No, they would say. Was it enough to have their own private soda machine? No. They would shake their heads back and forth, or clothes and book galore. No, 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 they would scream. It had been struggled by their great aunt, Auntie Claus, that maybe Sophie and her little brother were giving too many presents. You can never have too many presents, sniffed Sophie. That's my motto. Yes, everyone in the Kringle family loved Christmas, but no one loved it more than Auntie Claus. Auntie Claus lived at the Bing Hotel, as well as Penthouse 25C. Every afternoon, Sophie was summoned there for tea. Each day, Auntie Claus would instruct Sophie on a different topic. One day it might be Christmas trees. Always pick a nice full one, darling with springy needles. Another day declaring, you must drape the garland, darling Darling, one stand at a time. You must never throw it on. After they finished tea, Auntie Claus would close these words of wisdom. And darling, always remember my first and final rule. Whenever it's birthdays, Christmas, or Halloween, it's far better to give than receive. Sophie wondered about her great aunt a lot. There's so many mysteries, Sophie thought. And this was true. There were so many strange goings up in Penthouse 25C. Most people considered Auntie Claus just another citizen, New Yorker. But Sophie knew that there was more to her than meet the eye. For instance, when was the diamond key that always hung from a silver ribbon around her neck? Just a bit of costume jewelry, darling, her great aunt would say, then quickly change the subject. Why did Auntie Claus leave early year right after Halloween and didn't return until Valentine's Day? Just a business trip, darling. She changed the subject again. Where does she go? Sophie wanted to know. Once again, it was Halloween, and Auntie Claus announced, I'm off on my annual business trip. What kind of business trip are you in? Anyways, Sophie had asked, that, darling, is something for me to know and for you to find out. Auntie Claus had said with a twinkle in her eye, and that was exactly what Sophie intended to do. This year I have a plan. I'll stow away. Sophie made up her mind. As she was leaving, Sophie said, I'm going on a business trip with Auntie Claus. Marvelous, darling. Be home in time for Christmas. There's a good girl, said her mother. Do take your mittens, she said. I'm going to, said her little brother. Oh, no, you're not, said Sophie. Can, if I want to, he said. Cannot, she said. Can too, he cried. Cannot, she said. Wait! Sophie could hear his ear-splitting scream start to fade as she ran out the door. Sophie tiptoed into Auntie Claus' apartment. There were many boxes and trunks waiting to go. Choosing the largest, Sophie pushed aside the capes and furs and wiggled inside. Quietly, she made a little peephole in the cardboard so she could see everything that was going on. Auntie Claus entered the room. She removed the diamond key and hung from her ribbon around her neck. Next, she placed the key into the lock of her old elevator. The door slid open. The boxes and trunks were loaded. The door slid shut. Vroom! The elevator shot up into the air and out into space. They were going up, up, up. Minutes and hours passed, and still going up. Sophie could feel it, getting colder and colder from the people. She could see stars zipping by. Or was that snow? Why can't possibly be in New York any longer, she thought.